Good morning, everyone. Hope you're well. Something a little bit different today. We're going for a walk down the beach. As you probably heard, well, if you're local, you probably heard about the algae bloom that's hit our local beaches, in our waters, in our rivers. And there's, by the sound of it, not much we can do about it. But I kind of didn't think much of it until I started walking the dog down the beach and actually seeing what's going on. And it's actually really quite devastating. Lots of dead fish on the beach. I've been living in this area for just over 5 years now, and it's always been a beautiful beach to come down and walk. And through the winter time you get a fair bit of rock around the place, and that kind of clears up through the summertime, just that tidal movement. But nothing like I've seen in the last, say, few weeks. Like when we got back from Thailand, during that period there was a massive storm, and it's completely obliterated this beach. Part of this beach is a four-wheel drive beach, and I probably would have thought that with the amount of damage that's been done with these storms, with the algae bloom, they might have just stopped four-wheel drives from coming on the beach for a little while, just help it recover. Because people come here and they do their burnouts. I mean, there's lots of people that come and do the right thing, but there's a lot that come here and actually probably do more destruction than they should. It's really quite amazing the change that I've seen in this beach since these storms have hit, and obviously this algae bloom's hit our oceans. What does that mean for the future? I'm seeing baby fish, mature fish, different species of fish, all part of each other's food chain and part of our food chain, that's just getting wiped out, to the point where you're even scared to actually bring your dog down the beach just in case you eat something. And there has been reports of animals getting sick from eating these fish on the beach, and even surfers out there in the water that are also getting sick too. So it's a bit of a worry, that's for sure. So you may think realistically that this content really doesn't have anything to do with golf, but it kind of does indirectly. Being a past golf course superintendent, greenkeeper, my experience is that we bombard those golf courses with some pretty ordinary chemicals. We have been doing it since golf courses have the availability of these chemicals. And they're only band-aids, they only fix things up temporarily, but everything comes back again. If you say you've got a rating of 1 to 7, we regularly use poisons, chemicals that have a rating of 5, 6. So they're pretty toxic. I often thought, what sort of impact am I having on the environment with these chemicals that I'm spraying? I'm taking out insects that are part of the ecosystem. Sure, they do destruction, but You know, you wipe out these insects, or a particular insect, you take away that dynamics of the way that an ecosystem works. Fungicides, nasty things. You know, every year there is a chemical that all of a sudden becomes banned that we've been using for years and years and years, and all of a sudden they're saying that it can give you cancer, can give you Alzheimer's, you know, whatever, but there are chemicals that we have been using for years, and all of a sudden they ban them. So what else is on the ban list over the next 10 years that are being out there, being applied on a daily basis globally? The reason I'm saying this is that I guess for future turf managers, future, these chemical companies, anyone that is actually applying these chemicals or producing these chemicals, I think we need to be a lot more aware of what we're actually doing to our environment. Walking this beach and seeing what's around me because we've got an algae bloom is absolutely devastating, and it's actually alarming and quite upsetting to see the impacts that we're having. We sit in our lounge rooms and we watch the television and we see the impacts that is happening around the world, but when it's on your doorstep it really comes to reality of what's going on. So yeah, I guess my point is that as we move forward, do we have to drop that level of presentation on golf courses, you know, put up with some turf that's dying or, you know, not quite right? Because when you look at it, if you go to a golf course and it's absolutely pristine, not a weed in sight, not an insect in sight, well, there's a reason for that. And we all know what reason that is. The fact that you're getting bombarded with chemicals. It comes at major costs financially. It comes at as a major cost on the environment, and as I said, it's only a band-aid. So yeah, do we have to lower our expectations of presentations, both as golfers and greenkeepers, as committees, just to, you know, look after our environment? Because this is the kind of thing that happens when things get out of hand. You hear about global warming, and obviously it's a real thing. People disagree. Comment why. Why do you disagree? What I'm seeing here today, or what I've seen here the last few weeks, is something I've never seen before. Even behind me here, which is a conservation park, all those dunes that have been washed out by the big storms. Okay, big storms, we get them all the time, but I've never seen storms like this, and I've never seen so many dead fish getting washed up, and all shapes and sizes, all species. Yeah, so there you go. Maybe we need to change our ways and, like I say, lower our expectations of presentation, both as greenkeepers and as golfers, just to protect the environment and to protect the human race that live in this beautiful world. Okay, that's it for today. You take care of yourselves, everyone. See you in the next video. Bye for now.